teaching is a craft, and it's like you said, it evolves over time. And what I did my 5th year is definitely not what I'm doing this year. What I like is the fact the last couple of years I've been able to look at my practice and criticize myself and reflect, and I can see what is working and what is not working, and what do I need to do to get what is not working to move. And that's kind of how I evolved into the higher level questioning, because eventually I want to get my students to be independent learners and questioners. I like having that freedom to choose what it is that I want to work on, because I feel like we know what we need to work on. Sometimes it's hard to visualize, and yes, with my professional learning, it has evolved over the last 3 years, but I think that it has been a positive thing because I've been able to really pinpoint what it is that I need to work on. What I don't like, we're busy. Our profession is not 7 to 3, 7 to 4. I mean, it's 24/7. You know, go talk to my family and my husband. It is, and it is what it is. And I wouldn't do this if I didn't love what I was doing. With that being said, my time is valuable to me. And if I'm going to use my professional, well, I do use my professional learning to make things better for my students. I want it to be beneficial for me, beneficial for my students, and I don't want my time wasted. And I don't mean that to be a negative statement, but I want it to be something that is going to improve the student learning in the classroom and improve my craft, not something that we're doing because somebody said everybody needs to do this. Because, you know, just as students have their individual learning plans, we do too.
The
most the way I look at
helpful things for me, I mean, I'm still what you consider a new teacher, basically, and in my 5 years. The most beneficial things for me have been observation and conversation. And don't get me wrong, LTF trainings have been wonderful, and I've devoted half of my 24 hours for the past 3 years to those, and I am grateful for those, and those have been great. But I chose to go to those too. Those weren't forced on me. I mean, that's and those were really good places too, where I got to see and meet great teachers and have conversations with them. And I kind of agree with Michelle. I agree that there needs to be a structure for anybody and everything. Like we joked about timeline or deadlines earlier. There needs to be a structure for everything. But at the same time, there needs to be more choice and more individual choice. And I think, at least for teachers, if you're invested and you do it the right way, then you're not going to have problems with people choosing what they should be, what they should be working on and trying to find those opportunities to work on that. If you're invested in your job and your
And when you talk about the observations, that doesn't matter if you're in your first year or if you're in your 27th year. The observations of seeing, Allison is a lot younger than I am. and seeing what her experience is bringing in, I see new things that I hadn't seen in my experience. And then I'm able to get her insight. If she comes in my room, I'm able to get her insight. Or if I walk in her room and I'm like, oh, do you care if I try that? Or I like that idea.
Or the feedback from, we've had last semester, our instructional coach and our assistant principals, they were randomly dropping in, and they would, put the information into their iPads, and then they would send it to us what they saw. And just getting back the conversations that they heard going on in my classroom, like I was like, I said that, wow, like that's, I didn't realize I was doing that, but that's what I've gotten the most out of over the past few years.